r/ask Reddit. What is something that everyone accepts as normal that scares you? Being exploited at work. Working free overtime hours. Having short lunches. Not using their full PTO. We are humans. We are better than this. Dude. I work at Target and co-workers make fun of me for taking my 15 minutes break or lunch too early and not staying late to finish when finishing means working a 9-10 hour day. Some of them actually skip their paid 15 minutes breaks so they can get done on time. Like, you'll care about the company way too much. Let the work sit there if they don't feel like hiring enough people to get it done. I've got kids, and college classes, and hobbies. Frick yes, I'm leaving on time. Saying no or telling someone I don't want to do something. Setting boundaries. Stuff like that is hard to do. I keep thinking of how I'm disappointing the person, hurting their feelings, or making them angry. When all those kids in Pinocchio turned into donkeys. That one kid crying for his mama before barking like a donkey terrified me as a kid. I'm very curious how they're going to do it for the live action version. They'll probably use CG instead of really turning them into donkeys. The rapid increase in mass surveillance combined with the gathering and use of biometric data. I'm not usually a doomsday conspiracy theorist, but sprinkle a little advanced AI on top of that and I'll go make myself a nice tinfoil hat. Watching our rights slowly get taken away and people consider it normal is definitely one of my great terrors. Like privacy. I mean, less than half a century ago people would have considered it conspiracy theories to say that companies know everything about you, your location and they sell your data all around. On that note, there's a book called The Circle that is basically like a modern version of 1984. It's terrifying, and the reason so is because I could actually see it happening. But if you they're not high NG to high D, why do I owe you Kari? Frick everyone who uses this dumbass reasoning to hand wave mass surveillance and data harvesting for the express purpose of turning people into data points. Because information about you can be used against you. From the burglars who check the obits to decide where to break into, to con artists looking to craft an appropriate scam. Get a windfall? Paints a target on you. Link to a friend on Facebook? A picture they have of you keeps you from getting a job. Mention your first pet's name on Facebook? Hope it wasn't a security question. The less about you that's out, the less ammo there is to be used against you. That you should have a career/future planned out for yourself before you finish high school. Why do people do this? As if people don't change as they grow, and that your ambitions stay the same. You expect teens to decide what they're gonna do with their lives before they can even drive? How can I even know what I want to do for the rest of my life until I've lived in the world? I always hated that fact. That beginning of grade 12, 18 years old, I am too young and a child. Can't decide most things for myself. But the moment I finish school I suddenly have to already have a 5-year plan, with multiple interests and universities, jobs etc. The fact that most of the current generation of working people in this country won't be able to have their own homes. I know a couple that will finally have paid off their home after retirement. It's a real shame. And it's not in America either, this is a worldwide issue for some reason. Europeans and the Japanese have it just as bad. Honestly it's horrendous in Ireland now, especially Dublin. For a mortgage for a first time buyer you need at least 10% deposit. But you only can borrow 3.5 times your wage. So someone on say 30k, which is in or around average-ish, can only get 90k. The average house price in Dublin now is probably close to 400k. It's not even worth trying for most of us. You could move down the country for slightly cheaper housing, but on top of that virtually all the jobs are in Dublin, so you'd end up commuting, which would take all your time and money anyway. It feels like these are not normal times and it scares me what peak crazy might be. It's starting to get to me. Same. I've developed anxiety. And now I'm depressed and hate everything. It's like being in prison. I have done nothing since March except gain weight, and I see you've gained the over 19 pounds just like many others. Not caring about doing the right thing or the well-being of other people. The scariest thing to me is knowing how many people out there either don't have empathy or consider it weakness. You start noticing as a kid that some people are absolutely heartless about pets or frame everyone's misery as not their problem. Then as years go on you realize it isn't like 1 out of every 10 people that are like that, but more like 50% of everyone. There are creatures in the ocean we haven't discovered yet just chilling down there. Have you ever considered a few animals will never know about the existence of other living beings? Like a lion wouldn't know about, say, an octopus or a whale. Bro, Johnny just told me there's a fish the size of 10 elephants in the big water, and another with 8 arms. Can you believe that? LMAO. What the frick is a fish? He said it's an animal that can't walk on land. How lame is that? Working more of your life than you do actually living. Edited to add. First awards ever. Thank you so much guys. The quote from the captain from WALL-E always stuck with me. I don't want to survive. I want to live. Alexa. I hassle my dad for being tech backward, but for this reason I will be my dad in a short number of years. I'm not kidding myself that I'm anything like off-grid, but the idea of having something actually designed to listen to you installed in your house just doesn't sit well with me. One of my favorite memes is something like, in the 70s, I can't say it over the phone, it might be wiretapped. Today, hey wiretap, what's a good recipe for pancakes? And I actually just verbally described a meme. I am my father. The transition is now complete. The idea that being broken down and embittered at the world is a natural and unavoidable part of growing up. It's okay, I'll build you back up, Lego. How acceptable it is for companies to screw people. Damn, I guess I hit a nerve. It was a rude awakening for me when I realized HR in a company is to protect the company and not the other way around. Even shocking how some companies deal ombudsmans. Ignoring the truth because it makes them uncomfortable. It's hilarious how many people will read this, think it doesn't apply to them, and scroll past it. You're not wrong. I've said for years now that I'd rather have the truth than believe false things. The problem is, we all have our preferred biases. Sometimes, I'll scroll past that uncomfortable truth before coming back to it for real before accepting it. One of the few things I'm 100% sure of is that there are some truths that I have yet to circle back on yet. That is, things I've already come across and dismissed as untrue. I also say that I'd rather only be wrong once. I know I've not lived up to that entirely though. The amount of plastic in everyone's homes in the form of temporary food packaging. It doesn't seem like much until you pay attention to it and then think about how much of it you alone are guilty of discarding. This stuff is literally everywhere, even in the lowest parts of our oceans. Yes, and all the plastic useless, single-use it filling the stores all the time. All the poorly made soon to fall apart crap at the dollar store. Those trinkets every chain store has on hand for the person that's impossible to buy for, or token gifts for people you barely know that they will never use. Who pulls out a tic-tac-toe game set? Or novelty beer glasses? Star Wars Pez dispensers, because the only thing you know your step-cousin-in-law likes is Star Wars and you're on a budget. Millions of new Christmas decorations, because consumerism has convinced people your tree can't have the same look every year. Go to change that it up. Why not have 2 Christmas trees? None of that it is essential. And all of it arrives in the store in plastic packaging, and possibly leaves the store in a plastic bag. This world is sick. And it's seen as completely normal. Dying lingering, painful deaths that last for weeks, months, or even years, because we're afraid of death and anti-euthanasia. If other people want to die naturally, that's up to them and they've got every right to do so. But if I am one day facing a long, painful death, I want to be peacefully and painlessly killed via euthanasia. And I should have the right to do so without risking the doctor performing the procedure going to jail. To be clear, I do not want to die via euthanasia either. The ideal way of going would be peacefully in my sleep, or alternatively, some kind of instant death via explosion or whatever. I would prefer to die without artificial means to either end or prolong my life. But euthanasia should be available as an option, not a requirement, for those who want it and are facing terminal illness. It bothers me even more with stuff like dementia. I don't want to lose who I am. Why can't I make a directive that says take me out when it gets too bad? Swimming in deep water, especially murky, unclear. Frick that it, dude. Swimming in open water, in general. I'll stick to beaches where I can touch. Thank you. Congrats, you've made it to the end. You're a beast. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit content. It's free, so why not just do it?